City of Morganton residential garbage.
Ben's Smokehouse announces the
ground rules for you if you know where the restrooms are. One just as you come in the door, right behind you here, that is a universal.
We are live right here at the beautiful At 138 with the historic first ever primary debate hosted by the Rutherford County Republican Party right here in live with a live audience as well as streamed over the internet. We want to welcome all of you to hear the candidates for county commissioner for Rutherford County in the Republican primary. And we want to thank our fantastic host tonight, the fantastic Jim Bishop and the beautiful Sunshine McCurry. Please welcome, have a wonderful time. This is your opportunity to hear the wonderful questions asked by the moderators, hear the questions and responses from the candidates, and learn about the vision for Rutherford County in the days ahead. Please welcome our moderators, Jim Bishop and Sunshine McCurry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Energizer Bunny, he just continues to go on and on and on and on. He's always busy doing something. We're so glad you're here. Before we begin this tonight, I'd like to recognize Dundee Howe to do our invocation for us.
Let's pray. Father God, we just thank you for letting us be here. Thank you for the weather clearing so we can do this. We pray for each one of these candidates. And Father God, we pray for their families as they run for this position. This can be a tough job to run for an elected position. Some of them, it's their first time running for an elected position. God, we just pray for wisdom for them. We pray for grace and mercy. We just thank you for every person that came out, that they would use good judgment and discernment in selecting a commissioner for the county. We know it's important. God, we bless Rutherford County. We pray your grace and mercy for Rutherford County, that we would be able to grow. Give us good ideas. Give us wisdom, Father God. God, we bless the food that people are eating tonight, that it would be nourishing for their bodies and that their bodies would be for your service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Donnie. Thanks for being such a great host for us this evening. Before we get into the questions tonight, I'll have the candidates, if they will, just seated, state their name and the district they're running for, and then we'll get back to the questions. Start over here with Alan.
My name is Alan Harden. I'm running for District 1.
My name is Clark Poole. I'm running for District 1.
Anthony Morrow, and I'm running for District 1.
My name is Jim Owens. I'm running for District 1 and 1. I'm on the run, really. And most people know me as Top Dog.
My name is Adam Yelton, and I'm running for District 4.
Jason Coney, District 4.
My name is Chris St. Clair, and I'm running for District 5.
My name is Lazarus Margolin. I am Lazarus Laz Margolin. I'm running for District 5.
Scott Haynes, District 5.
The forum this evening is developed into two parts. We'll have the questions where they'll ask and have 1 minute to answer these questions. Then we have a quick yes and no type questions coming up after that for a few minutes. We'll get back into the other questions. And the commissioners, candidates will have 1 minute to answer the questions. And we'll begin over here with District 1. Alan Harden will begin. We'll go down the line. And first question coming up now. Alan, why you? What are your qualifications to be a Rutherford County Commissioner?
Well, my qualifications to be a Rutherford County Commissioner is I've lived here my whole life. I've worked in and around county government my whole life. But most importantly, over the last 27 years, I've traveled the county and I've listened. I've listened to the problems and I've thought, what's going on? Why don't they fix that? That doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, you've got 11 men sitting here, and every one of them needs to be commended. They could be sitting home on the couch, but instead, they've decided to be a part of the solution instead of the problem, and that's who I am.
Next.
Ready for me. I'm running for county commissioner because my qualifications are 20 years of experience with a large dealership, new car dealership, with multiple lines and a lot of employees, A personalities and B personalities. And having those two to get along because they approach problems from a different perspective is tough. I'm also learning that it is important that we listen to each other. The people that are in charge of our different departments and different aspects of this county really are competent in what they're doing, maybe not just always heard. Lastly, I'm running because I care, and I see a lot of people.
As for me, I believe I'm qualified. I am from Rutherford County. I'm a native of here. At 17, I enlisted in the military, worked my way up through the chain of command there. Got out, went to law school. I've been a prosecutor in Chicago. I've been a defense attorney in San Diego, been a military prosecutor in Texas, and I've been a social services attorney here in North Carolina. I currently run my own criminal defense firm here in the county, and I can tell you from start to finish what we need to do to improve the criminal justice system, to stop the backlogs, stop the delays that we have currently. I think that there are four points that need to be made by me today. Is going to be we need grant funding in our county. We have to address public safety. We have to appropriately fund our public schools, and we have to keep our taxes low. Those are the 4 reasons that I'm running. My qualifications can speak for themselves later, but I'm here. I'm retired from the military, but I put in a full-time job working with court-appointed cases to stop the drug use in the county.
Well, I was born in Rutherford County, and I love Rutherford County. Everybody's going to say that. Some may not, but I do. Something made me go down and pay that $137 or whatever, you know, the fee to register. Something made me go, and I don't know why. Somebody asked me 10 or 15 years ago, can't you do something, Jimmy, for the county? I run Top Dog Fast Food for years. My accountant said, can't you do something for the county? And I told her, I said, I don't know what to do right now, but I do know what to do now. I mean, right then. I do know what to do now. I can solve the problem. I know what to do. I know we can get jobs in here, good paying jobs. I will go down and to the place to see if we can get jobs and stuff up into here, and then let them build the houses for the needy. I know what to do. I promise you I can make it shine and shine bright here in Rutherford County.
Why me? It's because I feel like I've dedicated my life to this county. I was born, I was raised here. I've given my career path. I've built a ton of personal and professional relationships. I work in 10 different counties. I deal with governmental agencies, developers, attorneys, multiple business entities every day. My wife, she's a school teacher in this county. My kids attend public schools here, one in high school, one in middle school. I want to make this county a place that they can be proud and that they can move back to and have a living wage and build a home and raise their families here like I've been able to do. That's why I'm running.
Question is, what are my qualifications to be a county commissioner? I qualify because I'm a citizen of Rutherford County. I'm a resident inside the district I'm running for. What I can bring to the table for you guys is 20 plus years of business experience, knowledge of a lot of things in this county, the operations, but mostly the trusted relationship I have with past and present elected officials and citizens of this county. We are faced with a lot of issues. It takes somebody with experience, such as I, to do this.
I was born and raised here in Rutherford County. Spent most of my life here in Rutherford County. We did go to the coast for just a few years, but quickly realized that wasn't home and made our way back. I attended Art Central High School. From there, I went to Cleveland Community College, where I earned an associate's degree in emergency medical science. From there to Western Carolina University, where I earned a bachelor's degree in healthcare management. A large portion of that particular degree was focused on local government structure and how local governments are funded. From there, spent the next 20 years or so working in EMS as a healthcare provider and as an EMS educator, and later an EMS educational program director for the North Carolina State Office of EMS at a couple of different educational institutions here in the state. Did that again for around 20 years, then transitioned into real estate, became an entrepreneur. Started with a great big franchise, ultimately opened my own business in 2022 and have grown it from there. I believe that my qualifications are that I have the background and experience to understand where folks are coming from in the county.
Let's get real. There's no qualification needed. You have to live in your district. I'm a business owner, military member, or served for the United States Navy. I'm a volunteer board member for 2 different community outreach Rutherford County Soccer Association, which is for our children, and Habitat for Humanity, which puts a lot of preface on affordable housing or putting people in houses that can't afford it. And that's what we talk about a lot. I have my associate's degree from both Gardner-Webb and ICC. I have my bachelor's and master's from Western Carolina University. I am a healthcare professional. And the thriving community that we used to have when I was in high school is not here anymore. It's the economic development, but we need to bring in infrastructure. My qualifications are that I am pushing hard for all of that in the community, from adults to children.
My qualifications to be a Rutherford County Commissioner. I was born and raised in Rutherford County. My kids attended public schools. Me and my wife also attended the public schools. Multiple property owners, so I bear the same burden as the rest of Rutherford County, paying the property taxes. I've owned a business, me and my wife, for the last 10 plus years, which is a very successful business. You can visit 364 days a year. And public service, I've worked in public service, worked for police departments, worked in local government. I've seen the ins and outs of what goes on there and some things I don't like, and that's kind of what I'd like to change about the public service and the government way it runs around here. That's it.
Next question, we'll begin with District Number 4 to start the answers to the question. And the question is this: being a commissioner is a thankless job. Why would you want to expose yourself to that kind of scrutiny? You want
me to start it?
Yes.
It's not necessarily a thankless job. It's a job for the county, for the people of the county. This job requires somebody that can separate their own personal issues, work well with everybody, sit at a table, come with a resolution to help correct and solve our issues. We can't keep putting Band-Aids over the issues that we have in this county. These short-term fixes for these long-term issues we're facing, going and borrowing money or going and getting grants. I've got candidates down this table last night that was talking about filing, hoping and praying that we could get money in. That money does not pay taxes. If you can find somebody that'll give you a grant to pay a tax, I assure you our guys would have already done it. Right now, spending our budget money, we have to maintain that money or we lose our AAA insurance.
I want to be the county commissioner for my district because I believe that I have the abilities to bring jobs to this county. We're lacking on a lot of different aspects. The economic development side of things. It's not a thankless job. I agree with that, but we've got to do better. We've got citizens sitting out here who are stressed with tax bills, who are trying to find ways to create income, revenue streams. There's a ton of different things that I want to be able to do, and I think that I possess those skills and capabilities, and I hope that you guys give me the opportunity to do so.
Grace, will come to you.
Rutherford County is my home. Rutherford County is a place that I love and that I've loved my entire life. And I've spent way too long sitting on the sidelines and talking to my wife and to my friends about, hey, why is this going on? Why is that going on? Why couldn't we maybe do this? Would this not help out in this particular situation? And, there comes a point where sitting on the sidelines and complaining about things just is no longer responsible. And so because of that, I decided that I was going to do the best that I could to give back to our community in this go-round with the county commissioner.
So if you're looking for a pat on the back, this is not the job for you. I'm not here to get a pat on the back. I'm here to do what's good for Rutherford County, for the individuals that are in Rutherford County, for the children that are growing up in Rutherford County, and for hopefully the grandchildren that will be growing up in Rutherford County. That's what it's all about. It's not going to be easy to do what you have to do when you stand or sit behind the desk. There's going to be people that are going to hate you. There's going to be people that are going to love you. Hopefully you can help a little bit of everyone. The idea of being able to do what you do and help the individuals in Rutherford County is what I need, is what I want. That's why I'm doing what it is that I'm doing. I don't need thank you. I need to see the proof of what I am putting my hand to, making a difference in Rutherford County. That's why.
Can you hear me? Why do I want such a job? As a local business owner, there's many times I sit in my office with other business owners and we pitch ideas and want to see things happen within the county and need the resources. I believe being a county commissioner can help me reach out and help these local business owners that don't want to get into politics. Wasn't the top choice of mine, but I think someone has to do it, so that's why I kind of stood up and came for it. I want to see the kids. I want to invest in the kids. We got animal services around here. Me and my wife, my wife's bigger than me, about helping with animals and stuff like that. And then money management. I'm really big on managing government money. If you don't need to spend it, don't spend it. If you can save $1 here and put it somewhere else, that's what you need to do. So I'm really about managing the local money, local tax money.
Alan?
There's a lot of good men over my lifetime. A lot of good men ran for commissioner. And then 4 years, 8 years, 12 years later, they've left, most of the county hating them. And they're good men, but they've just made decisions that everybody didn't agree with. I said last night, as far as being a county commissioner, one of my fears was half the county is going to hate me no matter what I do. But after some thought, I realized, no, they're not. If a county commissioner truly does a good job, I think everybody in the county is probably going to dislike you a little bit because they didn't get what they wanted. But as far as me, I have a different perspective, and that's why I'm running. A lot of people, they take the role in office, and they look at things from the top down. But I think with all of my work in the community over the last 25 years, I got the opportunity to be able to look at things from a different perspective.
I was told last night that it was important that you directly look at folks. Those lights are blinding me, so I'm not trying to avoid you. I hope it's not blinding you. I want this job because I serve on 14 local boards, 4 regional boards, and 3 state boards. It has given me the insight of a complex situation of what's happening in our state, in our region, in our county. On those 14 boards, I've learned that there are 4 main problems that we have. 1 is being on Tier 1. 2 is that we are taking education lightly instead of very, very directly. As the director of the chamber, I got to meet the backbone of our county small business. I saw how they help people that couldn't do it. And lastly, this. I'm running because I want a second grader at graduation to say, I'm glad to get back to Rutherford County.
I'm running because I want to stop the suffering that I see every day in my job when I have to go to court and I'm seeing these young individuals that are addicted to drugs, that have no treatment options in the county, that are unemployed, that are staying at home with their parents until they burn that bridge, and then there are homeless problem. So I want to address what someone said about me begging for grant money, because that's me. I'm going to be your beggar, begging for state money, because Tier 1 means something. It means that we are first in line, if someone gets in line, to get state funding for grants. And why is that important? Because think about it. If you have a budget item for, say, public safety, I can get you grant money, and now that takes care of a school resource officer. Are we going to have to raise your taxes to hire that person? No. The grant money would pay for it. That right there is why I'm running. So you can have a direct answer when you hear something that doesn't make sense, because that's how it would go. They give us extra money because they know we don't have the resources.
Well, you're all going to love me. Sorry, you're not going to hate me. Everybody here is going to love me because I know how to solve the problem. I'm a little older. I've been around a while. So, I'm probably the most good-looking man in here, but that's debatable. The way we're going to solve that problem is I keep harping on jobs. We have to have jobs. People coming up in here to invest in the place. Silent majority is not in here. I don't see many black Americans in here, many people walking the streets. They need help, and I know how to help them. people, it breaks my heart to see these people walking the streets. It really does. And the food line, I was in the line the other day, and there was a mother, and there was a mother there standing in the food line that had a 3-year-old in her arms, and then she had another little boy there, maybe 8 years old, and one maybe.
Take it, take it. So take that. Question number 3, we'll start with District 5 in answering start this time. And the question is this. One of the responsibilities of the new board is to hire a new county manager. What would you look for in a county manager? Chris, you'll lead off.
One, check, there we go. I've got it short or something. I'll set it there. The county manager role is of utmost importance. They work in tandem, of course, with the county commissioners and with the county attorney and with every department in the entire county to make sure that not only are resources met, but that everybody understands what everybody else needs and what all is going on. I actually was doing a little research on that the other day, and typically one of the minimum educational requirements for a county manager is a master's degree in public administration. There are very, very few programs available in North Carolina that host such a formal education. So in saying that, I believe that the pool of folks to choose from is likely limited. I know that we're in the position where we're going to have to be finding someone, so it's important that we make sure that we find the strongest candidates out of the available candidates to make sure that we can make the most informed decision.
Lance, you're next.
So, of course, we're talking about Rutherford County. So if we have that individual that currently works for the Rutherford County, if you will, government, they are the ones that probably need to step up because they're the ones that have been participating and putting their hard-earned time into that. If not, I think what we need to do is stretch out our hands to the other communities around us, or even maybe even not just the ones that just border us, but maybe even a little farther out, and get some of the individuals that are making changes and are the boots on the ground of the other counties to have them come in and take that position, because they may not have been a county manager, but they've worked under the county managers in these other counties. And so we don't need a greenhorn, unfortunately. I think we need somebody that's shown that, hey, they can work with the county commissioners, they can work as or with the county manager to get things done and get things accomplished. I think that experience is going to be a huge, huge bonus for that situation.
Scott?
What would I look for in a county manager? I'd look for someone that is definitely a people person that's willing to work with about anybody, any personality. Somebody that knows about budgeting for sure. I'm sure that's going to come with a degree in management of a county. Just someone that's very, even when it comes to their pay, they're negotiable and they're not asking way more than what they're worth. I think they need to realize that Rutherford County has a budget and we need to stick with it. And their pay is not going to be the thing that's going to strain the budget. I believe that somebody that knows Rutherford County already and is vested in Rutherford
Alan?
It comes down to common sense. And what I mean by that, I don't know what applicants we're going to have. You have to screen all the applicants and look and who's best qualified, but you also have to look beyond the degrees and look at their history, look at what they've done, how they've worked with other counties. If we could find someone qualified in this county, that's certainly a bonus. But it just comes down to common sense. You got to look for the best person, and sometimes what's on paper is not what always you end up with. We have to take, as a board, we have to interview them, and a lengthy interview, and get to know each candidate so we can make our decision. And we'll be making a decision as a group. Rutherford County Commissioner, none of us are going to be the CEO of Rutherford County. What everybody needs to understand, I'm asking to be a member of a team. I'm asking to be a team of the commissioners and the county.
Beyond credentials, the person that we need to be interviewing for that position, they're going to be the chief operating officer. We, the commissioners, are going to be the shepherds to watch after the flock, our departments and our heads, and of the citizens of our county. So I want that candidate to have a vision. I want that candidate to understand with passion that it is important. It is important to think before we act. And lastly, it's really something to say, well, we're just going to have a county manager. It's something else to every day have the burdens and the dreams of the citizens of this county and the future of this county on your shoulder and be responsible for it. So it's a very, very important decision to make.
I want everyone to understand what Tier 1 actually means very quick, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, so please, I'm using my memory. We are 63. The tiered system in North Carolina operates under 4 criteria we are evaluated under. One is the tax rate, the base tax rate. Because the commissioners previously evaluated our property so high, we're at 63 number, not good for us. Population-wise, we're about 40. Again, we're about 65,000. We've been about that for 40 years. We're not growing 40. What hurts us is we are number 18 in number of need. Remember, 1 is bad. 18 is level of income. We're the lowest, one of the lowest incomes in the state. And unemployment, we're at number 13. So those are the numbers that we're dealing with, and I would want a county manager that has experience in getting his previous county out of a tier status and moving it up. That is a baseline to say what are they starting with, for us to say, what can they do for us from what they've done before.
Well, the county manager's got to have compassion, experience, just like Scotty down on the end and all these other people talked about. They got to know what they're doing and be able to read the bottom line. The bottom line is not supposed to be $6.1 million, in debt. The bottom line is lifting us up. If we're out here in this snow in Rutherford County, I'm going to compare it to snow, and you're spinning around out there in the snow, Rutherford County is slip sliding away, my friends, slip sliding away. We've got to get a grip on it. Just like the song says, slip slide. We got to get a grip on it, move forward. I know how to do it, I promise you. Promise you. And I still got time to talk, okay? Sorry about that. It's just like the young lady in the line at the food line there with her kids. What is her kids going to do in 10 years from now? If there's no jobs, they're going to leave, or they're going to be walking the streets too. We've got to look forward, and we can't wait long. We've got to do it now. Thank you.
I believe in selecting a county manager, we need to do some due diligence. There needs to be a Q&A just like this, a forum type with the commissioners. There needs to be some hard questions asked. What's their current role? What's their managerial experience? Are they looking to leave their current position and why? What have they accomplished with their current role where they're at? And then I believe it's a good thing to look into our surrounding counties. I got a good friend of mine who's a county manager, and he's done a fantastic job. So I think having to reach out to them to see what they can offer you, and they may know a personal reference that was looking for a job. I mean, obviously Rutherford County, we're not going to pay what some of these surrounding counties have. We don't have the funds available to do that. But we got to look outside of our county, and we got to make sure that we don't just have applicants come to us. We need to search for a proper applicant.
What I'd be looking for in a county manager, first of all, the county manager's got to qualify for the basics of what the application calls for. This process to get a county manager in takes 6 to 8 months. Guys, it is a long, extensive process. If elected, me and the guys will sit down. We will go through everything, but the main quality I'm going to look for in is he a Christian, because it's going to take one. That is a job not built for everybody. But I'm going to use up the rest of my time. On our AAA insurance that I was talking about, our county, we have to maintain 31% of our budget staying in. You keep spending our fund balance money, you will sink the ship. We have to maintain that fund balance. If not, we lose the insurance. You lose it, you don't get it back. That is our credit to be able to go to our banks, borrow money. This county runs off of borrowed money. We need to be selling assets that are not taking us any revenue to create our money. Thank you.
Now let me welcome up Sunshine McCurry to moderate the speed round.
Alrighty, fellas. This is a yes or no question. And this is our yes or no question, and we're going to start with Alan Harden. Would you be in favor of raising taxes to solve budget problems?
That's not a yes or no question. I don't think.
Yes or no, please.
Without the ability to give an explanation, no.
Go ahead, Mr. Poole.
No for me.
No.
Don't throw anything at me on this right now, but I know how to get
Yes
us
or no,
out.
please.
Yes, or a penny tax. It won't affect your property tax.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I don't believe I can answer that with just a simple yes or no.
Yes or no?
No.
No. It's definitely a no.
No.
Thank you. Now, all y'all that wanted to talk, you get a yes or a no, and that's it, okay? Okay. Would you consider zoning for the county, starting with Adam Yelton?
No.
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 Nope.
No.
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 Yes.
Yes.
Okay, question 3. Would you be in favor of creating a shell building park to invite new companies into the county? Mr. St. Clair will start.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Sorry. Yes.
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 As I spoke, yes.
Thank you. Question 4. We're going to start with Mr. Alan Harden. Would you support the county borrowing money to build a new public school?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Thank you. Question 5. Would you support a comprehensive plan to bring new commercial business into the county? Starting with Mr. Yelton.
Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely yes.
Most definitely yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Number 6, we're going to start with Mr. St. Clair. Have you owned or managed a business?
Yes.
Yes, multiple.
Yes.
A small one, but yes.
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 No.
Yes.
Thank you. This one starts with Alan Harden. Since seeking the Republican nomination, have you been to a regular meeting of the Republican Party in the last 12 months?
No.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
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 No.
Thank you. This one will start with Adam Yelton. Have you volunteered with the Republican Party in the last 12 months?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Thank you. Mr. St. Clair, we'll start with you. Have you read last year's county budget or audit?
Yes.
All 169 pages of it.
Yes or no, please?
Yes. Sorry, apparently, yes.
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 No.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. This one will start with Alan Harden. Is there one county department more important than the others?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
Thank you. Thank you for all your answers. Okay, handing it to you, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you, Sunshine. Now let's get back to the questions where you need to answer. Here again, 1 minute at each of these questions, and we will start with Adam Yelton. How would you, as a commissioner, attract new commercial business to this county?
I believe the commercial business is one thing that we've been lacking, and I've made it pretty clear that economic development is one of the big things that our county has lacked in some time. So sewer capacity, public water systems, those two things have prohibited a lot of companies from moving here. The one thing that we're trying to move forward with, or that has been proposed, is to turn the 74 bypass into an interstate. That's why it's becoming the way the access is that through Ellenborough. I think probably most of you've seen that. It's a controlled access when that gets completed. So that will give them the option to turn that into an interstate. That will also give us the opportunities to bring commercial businesses here. We have vacant land with the county that has been undeveloped. We've bought several properties dating back to 2008 for upwards of $1 million that are still sitting to this day vacant. So we absolutely have the capabilities to bring them here, and we have the means to do so.
I was the one that first brought the attention of all the vacant land that we have of bringing into building. We need to be selling off the properties that can't be used, that don't have our water, sewer, or power access to. Those properties could also be used as taken and putting in clean energy sources that we could divert energy back into the schools, save money. But building the shell buildings on these properties that do have our water, sewer, and our power, we could take these shell buildings, set them up. That would be one major source coming in. You bring in shell buildings, you bring in the business, you start lowering taxes. That is the correct way to do it. Other ways of lowering taxes, we will touch base on it here in just a little while as far as consolidating the services and going to a revenue neutral tax program. It has worked. We have 28 counties right now in the state of North Carolina. I'm probably one of the only seated right here that has visited many. Thank you.
I'm totally on board with the revitalization of what we already have, and I think that that's a very important part that we tend to miss, is we have a lot of, like it's been mentioned, vacant land and vacant commercial properties already within Rutherford County. And a lot of these are already located in areas that are either zoned, if it's a municipal district, for the type of industry that we are looking to bring to Rutherford County. But regardless, I think we need to fix what we have before we really start expanding and installing millions and millions of dollars of new infrastructure out in the rural parts of our county. We really need to focus on fixing what we have first.
Infrastructure, it's number one. Again, I keep saying this, if you can't flush toilets, you can't have a business. And that means that we don't have anywhere for sewer to go outside of our 3 city limits and 1 in Cliffside. All 4 of them are in disarray. Has nothing to do with the county, though, because it has to do with the individual towns. However, they need help fixing that. If they can fix that, then we can stretch it from the inside the city limits to outside of the city limits, which would reach some of these rural areas. Talking about the shell buildings, I don't think it's appropriate to build a shell building. I'll tell you why. It shouldn't fall on the taxpayer's back to pay for something and then us end up possibly being in a lawsuit, because what a lot of people don't know is that if you open up a business or try to make money and undermine or go against somebody who already has a business here, you open yourself up for a huge lawsuit. So all these other individuals that have any type of storage unit or shell building that could be used for it, they would come at us with a huge lawsuit. So no.
Again, sewer and water, we need to get it out in the county. Me as a local business owner, we're on a well. The only thing that's going to come out next to our business is Dollar General's Family Dollar. That's what we're seeing. But you got to get water and sewer out there where we can get other businesses interested in building outside in our county and get some revenue to us.
We've got to work with our legislator. We're a Tier 1 county and we have funds available. We got to put the infrastructure in place. We got to go talk to the other counties that surround us who are getting business. I look today, Cherokee County's getting a new business. but I want to also address the yes or no questions. That's kind of a got you. I'm not for raising taxes at all, but I can't sit here and tell you no, and 3 years from now, whatever the situation arises, and we have to raise taxes, and you're going to come back and say, that man lied to me. That's why I said the yes or no questions should be where you can give an explanation to them. I'm not for raising taxes. I'm not for, will we borrow money for a school? The situation may present itself that we have to, but just as a yes or no, I'm not. But those yes or no questions have to be more to it than just a yes or no, because if not, it's a gotcha question that'll come back and bite whoever's elected to this board.
Mr. Poole?
I'll have 8 months if I'm elected before I become one. So my plan would be to have a plan, to talk to department heads about what that plan would be, and then pack my suitcase and go out there and sell Rutherford County so that they're more interested in coming to us, or as interested in coming to us as we are to wanting them. Those are the kinds of things that I think we have been reluctant to do. We know what's going on in our county, and we know how to sell it. And I'm a pretty good salesman. So let's pack a suitcase and let's get out there and tell people who we are, what we stand for, and what we can do for them.
So for me to, I think, attract the businesses, go back to the infrastructure. And again, I'm beating a dead horse here because it does go back to grants. There are certain grants that we qualify in Rutherford County because we're a rural community, and it's based on those communities needing these infrastructures having less than 5,000 in their population for that town. So that already is one grant that I can think of off the top of my head that we qualify that is geared towards infrastructure. We have to appreciate that we are right now in fiscal year 2026, 24 in the state in the tiered system. That is the 24 worst economic state in need, rather. So it's 25 and under gets special access. So when we talk about what we can do is we can ask the state to give us the money instead of the other county next door. We'll see millions of dollars going next door because no one asked for it for here. That is what they have the money for. That's why they designate us tier 1 so they know who to give that money to.
Well, to make this work, everybody here said the right things there to get these people to come into the area there and get your suitcase or whatever you want to do, go down there and get them to come. First, they've got to have water, just like Scotty on the end said, got to have water, got to have power. They've got to have it. There's no other way around it. Broad Hill came to our county back in the 60s. That was a big deal. It was a big deal. Broad Hill came, and the citizens had a Broad Hill committee that raised the money to run the water lines to Broad Hill to get them up there. Isn't that amazing? They raised the money. So the infrastructure is very important. We need to check all the bridges out. And I don't have much time left to talk on this thing, but I've got to explain this tax thing to you. It's not your property tax it's going to affect. It's a penny tax. It won't be about a cent out of your pocket or 2 cents. It'll rake in millions of dollars and get us out of this deficit.
All right, next question, and we'll start with Chris McClare. Next question is this. How would you as a commissioner work to lower taxes?
I think it's important to understand how the tax system works to begin with, and understand that, mic keeps cutting out, I'm sorry. Understand that most everybody in Rutherford County is paying $350 to $400 more per year in property taxes right now than they were in 2019. And that's mainly due to the rapid appreciation that we saw in the real estate market. And it's a commissioner's job to assess the tax rates and assess the valuation that comes in from the revenue department to figure out where the new tax rate should be set in order to offset that rapid appreciation in tax value. My opinion, the tax rate was set higher than it should have been. It's actually possible and probable, as most of you experienced in 2023, for your tax liability, what you're paying to go up, even though tax rates come down. So the only way actually to reduce taxes is by reducing taxes. And all of the other stuff we're talking about with bringing new infrastructure in, bringing new businesses in, that's fantastic. And we have to have that because the only way we can meaningfully reduce your tax rate is by broadening the tax base. Thank you.
Les?
I don't believe there's a way that you can lower taxes. If you lower taxes, you're taking money from the schools. If you're taking money from the schools, you're taking teachers away, which means you're taking jobs away. You're taking money away from your infrastructure, because if you're going to start taking money away from other things, you're going to start taking money away from your county workers. So I don't believe that there is a way that you could lower taxes per se. I do believe that, again, infrastructure is the way to try to get more businesses in here. But until we start changing our mindset and figuring out that we're not going to be a retirement community, it's not going to work. So no, I don't know that there is a way that you could lower taxes feasibly and still be able to do what we do for all the entities, 27 different entities in Rutherford County that have their hand out for the money that we currently get. So tell somebody that they don't have a job next week because you decided to lower taxes. I don't think that's right.
This is one thing I've been troubled with is running for commissioner here. Everybody thinks that the commissioners have more power to do as an individual than what they actually can. We're a group of 5 that's going to vote to make things happen. But lowering taxes, again, is something that don't see that we can do. But what we can do is talk to our local legislatures and get them to relieve some of these state mandates. And we're going to have to relieve some money off some requirements. I mean, there's payroll for employees that are state mandated through our school. There's all kinds of things that the state requires us to do. The state's going to require us to do that. They need to give us some funding from the state to fund our local government. So as far as working to lower taxes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight with our local legislatures and see if we can get some funding from the state to soften the blow to the local government.
Alan?
A lot of people don't understand that over half of the revenue coming into Rutherford County is mandated by the state that we spend it, whether it's Medicaid, whether it's providing buildings for probation and courts. We all want to lower taxes. Everybody gets their tax bill and they hate it, but the only way that we're going to have lower taxes is to growth. We got to broaden our base, whether it's bringing residential people in here who are having to work out, but more importantly, we need to get industry in here, and that's the only way we can lower our tax base. And everybody wants to have lower taxes, but yet there's ladies at DSS who are processing food stamp applications who are on food stamps. I had a gentleman call me the other day, and he said, you know, I'm doing the same job as this other department's doing. He said, and they make $20,000 less than I do. How can we keep good candidates if we can't afford to pay them? We've got to get help from the state, and we got to grow.
One of the elements of our Tier 1 status is that we have the lowest wages that you could have in this region. Developing more business will raise our wages because more people will want to come. More houses that are built, more people will be living them. Will require us having more schools, and we won't have teachers leaving to find a better job for their families. You can't result that. How do you lower taxes? We talked about we got to decide not to be a retirement community. It's not because I'm old, but we're a third in this county. Under 45, 45 to 65, and over 65. So when you start talking about we got to do retirement things, no, we got to be actively involved in making this a better place.
I think the way to ensure your taxes are low is to ensure that the government is actually working smart with your money. That doesn't mean we fire someone. That means if someone decides to take a different job, do we replace them, or do we realize maybe we don't need that position anymore and we can save the money? I'll give you an example, the best that I can with what my practical knowledge is. We all know there's a backlog and a problem at the courthouse. I sit there and I'll see police officers sit day in and day out wasting hours that they could be out on our streets, patrolling, being effective, sitting there wasting time. We could have administrative court to where they do not have to appear unless they're there for a trial, unless someone is actually pleading not guilty. That alone would reduce the amount of police officers we need on the street. It would still allow us to use court time. It's a looking at a problem and not saying, how can we solve this with more money? It's how can we solve this by working together with what we got. That is how you keep your taxes low.
Well, concerning the taxes, I think they do this evaluation every 7 years. It's going to come. Just as good as the sun comes up, it's coming. It's going to keep going up some. It's just there's no other way around it. We're number 8 out of 100 counties on the totem pole at the bottom. We're at the bottom, number 8 for the bottom in unemployment. This is not where our county is supposed to be. I know that we can do better than that. Now, you're going to get mad at me again on this tax thing. This tax that I'm talking about is not a property tax. It don't affect your property tax. Greenwood, South Carolina did it. It's a penny tax. It costs you about 2 cents on a dollar. It don't affect your groceries. It's more or less on hospitality. Motels, they raised over $1 million $100 million. Let me get that straight. $100 million last year, I think, at Greenwood, South Carolina, to do their infrastructure and other things.
Well, as a tax-paying citizen, I don't want to see my taxes go up. I know we're doing a reevaluation. We could change the taxable rate. If our property values go up, we could, in essence, keep our taxes the same. We've got a lot of needs in this county between the jail, the police, the EMS, the school system. There's tons of things that this county needs. So lowering our tax revenue is not really going to benefit us at this point. Can we keep the taxes the same? I believe we can. Also, what I mentioned earlier about extending sewer and water capacities through the county, that's not just commercial needs, that's residential needs. You want to see homes be built here, you have to extend those facilities. You want to see developers come, that's how you get them. More homes, more tax money for the county. All right, we've got 33% of taxpayers in this county eligible for Medicaid. We've got 1 in 5 taxpayers on food insecurity, food stamps. So jobs, housing, that's how we fix the tax issue.
Start with, we don't lower the revenue. Revenue is what brings in our tax sources. On top of this, part of a county commissioner's job is, if anybody has ever actually paid attention to it, it is manage a budget, sets the rate that we pay. Right now, we have to focus. We have to go in. We need to take and go to a revenue neutral. Guys, there's 99 other counties in this state of North Carolina. I can guarantee you I'm probably the only one that's ever visited another sitting on this panel right now to see what these other counties are operating like. These other counties, 28 of these counties has already made these changes, went into a revenue neutral. They have set the foot as a foundation, found out ways. They put up these shell buildings. And listen, if we don't give these companies something to come into, the properties, the water sources, the powers, we're going to be like Mr. Clark and half everybody else in this county. We are going to be packing suitcases to have to go somewhere else to live, because we're not going to have a county if it's left up to some of these. Thank you.
Now next, let's recognize again Sunshine McCurry with more yes and no speed questions.
Alrighty. This one will start with Alan Harden. Do you want Rutherford County as a Tier 2 county?
Say it again.
Do you want Rutherford County as a Tier 2 county?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Mr. St. Clair will start this one. Are you pro housing development market in Rutherford County?
Yes.
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 No doubt about it.
Yes.
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 Yes or no, please. This is not for commentary. Do you believe, Mr. Alan Harden's going to start this one. Do you believe it's the county commissioner's job to solve the homeless situation?
No.
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 Yes.
No.
Assisted, yes.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
No.
Thank you. Hold your commentary. Yes or no? Okay. This one will start with Adam Yelton, District 4. What are the county budget numbers?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What are the county budget numbers?
I would need more, I don't know which budget you're referring to. If you're referring to the entire county? Yeah.
Yeah, I skipped something.
Is that a yes or no question?
Hold on. I got one more question. Pages are stuck together. Are you pro-growth for building industry in Rutherford County?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
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 Sorry, been asked.
All right, moving back again to the questions. We call for the speed round now. And that question we just introduced, but was too early. Excuse me. What are the county budget numbers? And we'll start with Adam Yelton.
So I don't have all the numbers in my head based off of all the departments that we provide budgeting for. I will say that our total budget in the county is in essence between $80 and $90 million. DSS being one of the larger budgets that we have to provide for, it's around $17 million. And just so you know that DSS department has really no oversight from the county management side. I believe that they need to have, I think the county manager needs to be involved in that oversight with the DSS. We need to make some modifications to that department. Obviously, education is a very large number. Millions of dollars for that. 15, I think, they asked for additional 5 last year. The county denied them that access. I don't have all those numbers in my head, so that's just the departments that I'm aware of.
Right now, the county's actually working off of a $98 million budget, with 31% of that budget still used as our AAA. Then turn around, the largest impact on our budget right now is the school systems. Right now, we're putting toward the school systems $20+ million. On the school systems, I know a lot of the guys wants to help out, put toward it. The school systems, we have lost our children, which is part of our funding. The school does need assistance. When elected in, we will sit down with these departments that are struggling. We will help come to resolution and help them resolve the issues they have. Giving them funding now is a long term. It ain't give it to them one time. It's once you give, you are stuck with it. So we have to find where they're having their issues and see if we can help them touch base. But it's going to take all 5 commissioners, your county commissioner. Oh. Sorry, it unplugged.
I honestly believe that gentleman here beside me did a fantastic job. One quick clarification, I believe it's 89 million is the total budget. We are spending a lot of money in a lot of different areas, and those are areas that we really can't afford to limit funding. We have to fund our DSS. We have to fund our Department of Education. We have to fund our EMS. We have to fund our Sheriff's Department. These are non-optional items. It's really easy to sit down and start trying to pick everything apart. And to be honest with you, it's something that until you're in that position as a county commissioner, we don't really have the opportunity to see these line items and understand where each one of these dollars are going. Each dollar should have a purpose, but until we actually are in that position and have the ability to really dive in deep, it's going to be difficult to understand exactly how the budget is laid out.
So I can throw the numbers at you. I've been doing it. All the guys are about on point. We do have $89 million is what we use. Again, 60 to 65% of that is already dedicated. We don't get to say what that goes towards. It's already done. Sorry about your luck. So we're working on that. The school system right now is a big chunk. However, they just got done building a middle school. They also just got done building the bus garage. What a lot of people don't know is they went out and got a grant for the bus garage. So part of that $11 million that's on our current budget was given to us for that. So you can't really say that that's included in the school system budget. However, they're also still paying for the new middle school. There are so many numbers that you can rack through. There's 27 hands out. If you don't know and you haven't heard me say it before, I'll say it again. If we would have given every single entity what they asked for last year, our property taxes would have went up 26%. Swallow that one.
All right, the Rutherford County budget around $90 million. The top three, everybody needs to know, is education, public safety, and economic development. Not that those three are more important than the rest of them. We got to know how to spend that money and question where that money's been spent in all the departments. And that's where I would come in and make sure it's been questioned. And I'm going to speak up for the county, make sure that we know where our money's going and being transparent with everyone. I want to go back and touch on the homeless and the commissioners being responsible for that. No, I don't think, but I think the commissioners can have a voice in that and create some ordinances that we can help our public safety, our police deal with the issue. Being a police officer in the past, I've seen when we've done the Rails to Trails, which I love the Rails to Trails. It's a great opportunity for bring people to Rutherford County and for people to get out and exercise. But I seen when that happened, I seen the homeless was more exposed. It was here, we just didn't see it until the Rails to Trails. We pushed them out. Now we're dealing with them. Now we just got to continue and make sure we take care of them and do what we got to do on that side.
Ellen?
Rutherford County has approximately $90 million in budget. And the difference is, I think a lot of people, it's easy to set up there and punch numbers. But I'll give you a fire truck, for example. If the fire department comes to the commissioners and says, we've got a 40-year-old fire truck with 2 million miles on it, then yeah, we need to start trying to figure out the best avenue to replace that fire truck. But if they're coming up with a 15-year-old fire truck and they don't like the way it handles, the county commissioners needs to get up and go to the fire department, let me ride in this truck, let me see what you're talking about. And that goes for so many things. And, you know, I went to Golden Valley the other night, and it's like, well, here's the politicians again, every 2 years like clockwork. I can tell you if I'm elected in 4 years or in 2 years or whenever, when I go to the southern end of the county, when I go to Golden Valley, when I go to Bills Creek, a lot of people call it the forgotten parts of the county. They won't be able to say that next time, I promise.
Good question to start with, but I must say, I said that commissioners are shepherds, not rulers. So they shepherd the flock, and we always try to throw the negative on the commissioners. But what they're trying to do is have a workable budget to help the people of this county. For example, you know, in the surrounding 4 counties, we have the highest per student expense of any of the counties. Cleveland County is $1,200. Ours is $1,900. Why? So to tell you what our county budget is, I looked at it and I read it. I went to sleep twice, but I was reminded during that sleep time that my algebra teacher said the answers are in the back of the book because that's not what's important. It's just what's in between it. So our budget is a living thing.
I do not know what the current budget numbers are. I think it'd be important for me to look at that when it's in front of me, then do a line-by-line item and actually say, if this is what you think you're spending the money on, show me how it worked last year. Show me how that was effective last year. Was it a good use of our money? And I want to clarify something because I was quite surprised by the yes and no speed round. The question was if I want us to be a Tier 1 county or Tier 2 county. No, I do not. Tier 3 is the best tier. Tier 3 means you're in the top 20% in North Carolina. Right now, we're in the bottom 24%, or 24. So I'm not stopping at Tier 2. I don't want Tier 2 to be what's good enough, like every single person up here said to you. So who understands the tier system? Who's going to say that's not good enough? Tier 2 is not good enough for Rutherford County. We are Tier 3. We have a lot to offer. We need someone to stand up and get us there.
I did look at the budget there on the internet there, and I have a pretty good photographic memory, but I can't remember everything because it'd take me about a week to read all that. But I did notice important things there on that. One of them was that a lot of money is spent at the Department of Social Services. A lot of money. I don't know the figure. But what got me down a little bit is our veterans. I think they spent maybe $100,000 on it. That's not enough for our veterans. You know, I just this is what I saw, and we can do better than that for our veterans. And we can do better a lot of ways there on that there. But it's just the budget there. I couldn't read all that. But I'll read, if I'm elected, I'll read every word of it, every dot, every question mark, every sentence, and we'll find out what's going on with your money. It's your money.
Since we're talking about it, let's stay there. The next question is this. What would it mean? What does it mean to be a Tier 1 county? And we'll start with Chris St. Clair.
So there's 3 tiers, as has been mentioned already, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And it's broken up by counties. There are 40 counties in Tier 1, there are 40 counties in Tier 2, there are 20 counties as Tier 3 in the state of North Carolina. And as Mr. Morrow has mentioned the exact parameters a few times, but essentially Tier 1 is the most economically depressed, Tier 2 a little less economically depressed, and Tier 3 is going to be the least economically depressed.
I'm not going to repeat what Chris said. It does no good. We don't have enough money. That's pretty much what it is. We don't have enough money coming in, and we need more money to go out. That's pretty much what it is. We, as a Tier 1, though, what a lot of people don't know is we qualify for a lot of grants. Matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 56, 7, 8, 90, almost $40 million worth of grants is what we got last year. So that's a lot. That's a lot of money. So not only are you going to have to go from a Tier 1 to a Tier 2, you're off the bat losing $40 million in grants. That's school grants, that's building grants, that's local development grants. So there's a lot that goes into those numbers. I would like to go back to what they were talking about with the fire. Fire has their own taxes. The fire chiefs and whatnot, they get together and they bring that to your county commissioners. You guys pay that on your bills. That's that separate .1, 0.08, whatever it might be. So don't worry about the firemen and their trucks. They'll get what they need, I promise. It comes out of our pockets.
What does it mean to be a Tier 1 county? Exactly what they're saying. Economically depressed, and Lad was saying, we're eligible for grants. That's what we need to be out there grabbing. It's still tax dollars, but I mean, if it's available to come into our community, we need to grab it and use it to the best of its abilities. It doesn't mean to waste it. Bring it in and use it for what it's needed for. And just because we have the money doesn't mean to waste it on the topics that we're buying it or using it for. But so we just got to get people to work too. That's part of it. We have unemployment rates that are unacceptable. We need to bring something in here, put people to work, and when the jobs are available, push them out there, make them work. I see it, with the business I got. I see people that are working the system. They don't work so many hours. To me, that's very unacceptable. I'm a 40-plus hours for me, and I think everybody in the county is capable of it. We have too many relying on the local government and the state. We need to get people to work.
Mr. Sinclair gave the perfect definition, but let me explain to you when we're talking about grants and money that's there. In Caroline, you have Frank West Park, and I've looked at that park for the last 15 years and sat there and thought, well, it wouldn't cost this much to fix it, or we could do this and give the southern end of our county a park. I talked to one of our state representatives 2 weeks ago, and he said, the money's there. Nobody's asked for it. So the grants are there, the money's there, but what it's going to take the commissioners learning what's there and asking for it. All they can tell you is no. If you asked a question, the answer is always no if it's not asked. We need to be asking for everything that we can get and researching it, because the money's there. The state has a lot of money, and the Tier 1 just makes us available for even more, but we need to be asking for every cent we can get.
What does it mean to be a Tier 1 county? We're on welfare. We get the crumbs at the gates of Jerusalem. whatever they want to do. Because when you try, as the director of the chamber, many companies were discussed. Some of our board members went to a company and had a very long definition with them. Guess what? Your wages are too low. You don't have enough houses. We're not coming. The answer is to meet those qualifications and have a plan to do that, because they're in business for profitability. It's not sustainable when we're low wages and don't have enough housing to attract people. And and I'll put this one in, I got 10 seconds to do it. We need to have a self-imposed departmental dose. Not because we think there's graft, but because there could be waste and we could be more efficient.
I would just like to thank St. Clair as well for a good answer. I'm going to piggyback on that because it comes down to the number system. What we're talking about, the number is at 13. We are 13 in the state for unemployment, not 8. It's 13, which is bad enough. We're almost top 10. So that puts us at a very disadvantage. It's 4.86 for 2026. That's the number. And the other thing that's really hurting us and making us a tier 1 status is our income. The employers in this county simply do not pay high enough wages comparative to the cost of living, so therefore we're in that status there. The only time that I've been able to find us in a tier 2 status was approximately about 2018, 2019, and they changed the criteria at that point, so it put us right back down. So like I've been saying all night, and you can hear about the money that's available to us, think about it common sense. If we get grant money, that's services, that's infrastructure that we're not paying out of tax dollars here locally. We need that grant funding.
Tier 1, that's pretty bad there. I've investigated a little bit there. It throws us into this thing of unemployment. Go back, jobs is what I keep talking about. To get out of this in the ghetto. I call it in the ghetto. We like it or don't like it. We're not in the ghetto, but every town has a ghetto in it. And to get out of it, we have to have jobs. We got funding is good. I'm not against funding. I want somebody to give me a little money too, don't you? But funding is a good thing. I'm not saying that, but we've got to do it ourselves and get the funding on top of that. We can get out of this deficit we're in. I know how to do it. I've talked about this little bitty tax. It's called a penny tax. Everybody says, ooh, don't throw nothing at me. But that's the only way we're going to get out of it. Or you throw me out up here, whatever you do there, sometime you're going to have to do that penny tax. It's just about 2 cents out of a dollar out of your pocket. And it will raise millions of dollars and get us out of this. It'll raise $7 million to get out of this hole we're in. I promise you that. I know what I'm talking about.
I think most of these guys have touched base on what it means to be a tier 1 county, so I'm not going to go into all the detail. Obviously want to see our county prosper and get into that tier 2, tier 3 level. I do want to say one thing that I was asked earlier in the yes or no round was, would I be in favor of a new school? And when I said yes, what I meant by that was I think that this county could absolutely prosper from a career and technical education facility. We live in a very rural county. We've got a lot of kids out there who are good with their hands, who are good with their minds, but they don't have jobs that are available in this county to let them prosper, to build homes and to stay here. So that yes was for a career and technical education. That means your electricians, your plumbers, your carpenters, your mechanics, the skilled tradesmen. We've got those here. They're sitting on the streets with no jobs. We can provide better for them with that capability and that school capacity.
Of course, Tier 1, it leads back to basically some of its government issues that's handed down to us because they've made the people so susceptible to saying, well, I can draw more money than I can make working. So until we put the people back to work, there is jobs in this county. We have jobs that needs to be filled. It's the people that does not want to take them. But also, back to what Adam was saying, we do have a college that we just spent a bunch of money on that we've got vacant rooms in. Same way with our hospitals. Our hospitals, we're only operating on half of a hospital. So guys, when we talk about start building these buildings or putting in more schools, we got more school buildings than we have kids for them right now. So as far as anything, yes, we need to make the options for the kids, put it in our college building, have the rooms in our school buildings that we have now.
Or the next question, and believe it or not, is the final question, and we'll start with Alan Harden. What is the general fund and fund balance?
The way I understand it, the general fund is what we operate on. The fund balance is our savings account. And it's been argued differently by members of this board whether we need to save our fund balance for a rainy day or we need to use it now. And that's something I would take a look at, but I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to use any of the fund balance, or I am. I can tell you I don't want to touch the fund balance, but I'm not going to sit here and promise you something and then do something different later if the circumstances dictate.
The general fund is what we operate on. The fund balance is our safety net. It is very important that we anticipate those problems that may lie ahead of us and be able, just think of Helene. If we hadn't had a fund balance, a lot of people in Chimney Rock and Lake Lure would have been in a lot of trouble, and our county would have been in a lot of trouble. It was because of the heroic effort of citizens that helped that, and the fund balance helped pay for that. There are counties today at the coast that have been waiting 7 years to be repaid for some disaster. Our commissioners were smart enough and thoughtful enough to make sure that we didn't have to approach that kind of thing in the quality of life. Last thing I want to say, gosh, I talk too slow. Travel to ICC and see CDL and see the nurses. You'll see what's happening in our county. A lot of things.
This is such a straightforward question. I'm not going to take your time. The two gentlemen before me answered it adequately. That is what a general fund is. That is what a fund balance is.
It's just like having your piggy bank at the house. Your piggy bank, you've got your funds in it. You're maybe saving it for Christmas or anything else. We don't want to bust the piggy bank. We want to keep that and build it up. We want it to be very good built up. I don't know how to do it, but I really do. But we can build that piggy bank up or that fund up, because we don't know what's coming next. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. We have to be ready for it. As citizens, we've got to be ready for the unknown. It's the unknown. We don't know what's coming tomorrow, and it's going to take wisdom and leadership. And I promise you, I know what to do. And I'm going down to 14. But vote for me if you would. My name is Jim Owens, and they call me Top Dog. Thank you.
Obviously, they've explained the difference between a general fund and the fund balance. What I would like to make known, and I think that there'll be some discussion here, is that we have a couple different things within this. You have an actual fund balance, and then you have an unassigned fund balance, and we've both mentioned that. However, I would like to say in surrounding counties, yes, I love the fact that Rutherford County has been astute enough to have a very large nest egg. However, we're in excess of almost 50+%, 61 actually, in 2024 in unassigned funds. That seems a bit excessive. Most counties try to operate around a 25 to 30% fund balance, unassigned. So those additional monies that the county is sitting on could provide things for this county to move forward. If we need to supplement some of the, what I said earlier about providing sewer and water capacities, there's plenty of money in that to still not bust the bank. And I think it's okay sometimes to dip into your unassigned fund balance, especially when it's that high.
Our general funding, the definition of it is actually for long-term funding. The long-term funding. The fund balance on this, yes, we have to maintain. It is our savings, but that savings acts as multiple things for our county. The guys before us that are stepping down, they did do good with this and was able to get us the nest egg. We've all talked about it. We know it. But guys, I'd just like to take these last few seconds to thank you guys for coming out, listening to us tonight, ramble on. And I know I've tested the patience of across the board here with a few of them, going after them a little. But honestly, if elected, and whoever's elected off this board, I would be honored to work with, and I'd be honored to work with the staff that we have now. We've just got to come together, and one thing, we have to unite.
I don't really think there's much I can add to the question in terms of the general fund and the fund balance. I think that's been pretty well addressed. But cutting out microphone there again. But just want to thank all of you for coming out and hanging out with us tonight since it's the last question. I appreciate it very much, and I hope that you've learned something about each and every one of us up here tonight. My name is Chris St. Clair. Hope you guys have a great evening.
Fund balance. It is what it is. We do have money in there. Everybody knows it. Everybody's arguing over it. I want to just kind of tack off what Adam said. You know, we do have a little bit more than half a year's worth of fund. That is for basically a rainy day. But that's also what allowed us to clean up our roads. I don't know about anybody else, but after Helene, the side of my vehicle got hit by two separate trees that were on the white line that a good citizen went and cut down. Had we not had that extra money in the bank to be able to back that 17 mil, I think, or 22 mil to be able to have them come and clean up the sides of our roads, it would be a mess. I've been to Lenore, I've been to Boone. It's still a mess up there in some of those areas because they don't have that fund balance. That's what that fund balance is for. However, the water and sewer that Adam's talking about, in Forest City alone, if I'm not mistaken, I talked to one of their workers, just for them to replace their sewer system, $18 million. That has nothing to do with the infrastructure of any of the lines or any of the runways, runoffs or anything. That's just for a sewer itself, a water treatment plant. Just think about it.
What is the general fund balance and the general fund? I think everybody's answered that question, so I'm going to take the opportunity to just kind of recognize a couple things in Rutherford County. It's a hospital, Rutherford County Hospital. We need to invest in that as well as invest in our schools. Rutherford Hospital, I always hear bad things, but there's some good people working there, and I think we need to acknowledge that and put some money there and see what we can do for our local hospital to make sure they're getting what they need and giving proper care to our residents. Our schools, we've got to invest in our schools, our children. Like I said, my two kids are in public schools. They love it. They love their teachers. We need to recognize the teachers and the jobs they're doing. They get a lot of scrutiny, and I think they're doing the best they can with what they got. So we just don't need to forget about our hospitals, our schools. That's what makes Rutherford County grow. It's going to be a heart of it.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight and putting your efforts into this. I hope you felt comfortable in these questions. We've got a lot of insight into what you're thinking. I hope the audience has too, and we thank you. Let's give these men a applause. Let's welcome again our chairman of our Rutherford County Republican Party, Mr. Bryson Smith.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, folks, for joining us live in person in this auditorium, as well as to the hundreds of viewers on Facebook Live and our YouTube channels. First of all, we want to thank the debate committee, the planning committee, the food committee, and all of our candidates for joining us. In under an hour and a half, you have heard over 20 questions and 20 responses from the candidates for county commission in the Republican primary of Rutherford County, North Carolina. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Also want to give a simple reminder that early voting will start on February 12th. And it goes until Saturday, February 28th. Election Day is Tuesday, March 3rd. And as a reminder, there's approximately 68,000 people in Rutherford County. Approximately 45,000 are eligible voters. And statistically in the past, less than 25% of the eligible voters will turn out to vote. So statistically, there is someone sitting on your church pew, your picnic table, your Kiwanis meeting, in your own house that will statistically not vote. You have an opportunity tonight, candidates, and to our audience, to remind your friends and family, get out, vote, let your voice be heard, and you have heard the vision of the candidates for county commission. So please give them another round of applause. Thank you and good evening.